It's an honor to have our today's guest, who is a corporate speaker and a mindset coach, Mr. Avtar Lila. He focuses on mindsets, communication, and self growth. He has conducted various sessions, and it is an honor to have him with us today on this show.
Knowing that you are a positive mindset coach and you have approached a lot of people in the corporate and you have given a lot of sessions to the people around. So, one thing I would want to ask you is if people want to focus on growth in a particular job where they feel they're stuck, what would you advise to them?
Okay, so the question is if they feel stuck being in a job scenario and they're not
Yes,
able to grow, that's the
yes,
question.
yes.
Okay. Uh, See, sometimes the answers are not really obvious to such kind of situations because there are a lot of other factors connected to when it comes to job scenarios.
Yeah,
Like, is it like your financial need being fulfilled? Is it something you can jump immediately? Some people may not have so many responsibilities, so they can take the risk of changing things, exploring different things. But some people are too tied up and they will not be able to do it. So
right.
it becomes very subjective to what exactly they will need to do in that situation. However, what is in our control for everyone, irrespective of what situation they are in, is that how do we take care of ourselves in that situation? Either
Mhm.
we are getting burnt out, exhausted. How are we replenishing ourselves?
Right.
The question many times is not how, it's not about how hard life is, which is true for most people, but also about how are you replenishing yourself when you are in your own space, when you're not working at your job. Maybe you have a tough working environment, or the thing that you do is extremely difficult or demanding, or it is physically straining for you, it is mentally exhausting for you, or the environment is very toxic.
Yeah.
So based on what situation you are in, you will have to gauge what steps can you take. Can you immediately change your job? If yes, please go ahead. If you are not able to do that, can you take care of yourself meanwhile?
Hmm.
Can you do some things which actually take care of your mental health? Can
Yeah.
you take care of mental well-being?
Hmm.
Right? Spending time with family, spending time on your health, spending time with your own mental growth. Uh, in the meantime, even starting some side hustle which can actually help you take the leap when the time actually comes up.
Yeah.
So, based on each person's particular situations, I would suggest that different things would work for different people. However, one thing is we humans tend to, also, I'm not saying doesn't exist, but we also kind of exaggerate our problems
Yeah.
and minimize our potentials.
Yeah.
So we tend to exaggerate, oh my God, this is going wrong, this is going wrong, this is going wrong. And when we try to focus more on the negatives, then overall our enthusiasm, our inspiration, our hope, our ability to deal with the negative also diminishes.
Very true.
So positive mindset is about realistically assessing, yes, this is the situation that is existing, and this is impacting me in so and so form. But I can take certain steps moving forward, which can help me deal with that situation constructively. I may not be able to change the situation, but I can equip myself to deal with it constructively.
Yeah.
Right? And for that matter, according to corporate surveys globally, 90% people on job don't feel engaged. They don't feel that they're doing something what they wanted to do,
Agree.
something that they like to do. So they need to. So we also need to understand that I'm not the only one who is probably struggling with that particular scenario. And at many times it's true, and many times it's also perception.
Yes.
So whatever the case may be, then subjectively, each individual has to look into it carefully. What was I into for? Like sometimes it's also impatience. You
Hmm.
join a job and it is not working out, and immediately feel like, oh my God, I should just quit. But then there are certain things that can only happen over a period of time. Once you
Right.
stick along for some good amount of time, only then you can see certain things which happen as per your needs, as per your expectations, and things like that. So I think not to also be too quick in concluding that this is not working out for me, but maybe look at different ways of how I can make this job interesting. How can I make my coming to office something valuable and something meaningful for myself? So
Yeah.
those different perspectives can actually help.
I think it helps if we don't take every day as a routine and we try to, improvise the current thing that we are doing, think out of the box instead of following that has been there through ages in your current job that you're doing, if you think out of the box and think why it is done and how it is done, and try to improvise the process and add meaning in the current process, so then you will start enjoying what you're doing. And
Yeah.
there are even times when we complain about how life is ruthless with us, and instead life is going to be ruthless. So it's no one said it is going to be easy. So instead of focusing on that, we focus on the brighter side. So that helps. Very true.
And actually, once it was a it was a case study of a call center.
Hmm.
Uh, People were getting too bored and exhausted just making these cold calls to people, and this was a call center for asking people to donate
Yeah.
for sponsoring the education of some graduate children, like
Yeah. Uh-huh.
getting scholarships and all that. So they were feeling very exhausted. So what the parent company did was they actually made these call center employees interact with the kids who had received the scholarship. So when they saw the impact of what their calls have done for people's lives, how grateful they were, how happy they were, how meaningful life they were actually living, which otherwise was not possible.
Right.
That totally changed the way they looked at the job that they were doing, which was pretty routine and boring.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are also not aware of the complete picture of what we are expected to do, what we are told to do, and how is it impacting lives of someone down the road. If we get awareness about that, even that helps us deal with the routineness or whatever challenges come in our workplace environments.
Yeah, I guess this point is very well mentioned, sir, because if we understand that every individual is a value add in whatever they are doing and how it is impacting others, yeah, we feel important then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as a employee, there are two roles that one plays. One is the employee perspective, and one is the leader. So, coming on to the leader perspective, people management is one of the key things that a leader should be doing. So, what, according to you, should one have, or the what skills should one have as being a good leader?
Leadership is oftentimes a very enigmatic topic for many people. It seems like it requires some groundbreaking, earth-shattering, sky-tearing apart kind of insights. But leadership is very, I would say, it's very instinctual.
Yeah.
Uh, and I was reading one gentleman writing about his leadership experience, and he said his leadership, kind of the way he led the company, totally changed after he attended a wedding ceremony, and it was happening in the Western environment. And he said after when he was there for the wedding ceremony, and he saw that how the father was handing over the daughter to the young man, and he said this is exactly what a leader is expected to do. The leader is in that situation of receiving this particular grown-up person who's coming into his environment, and the responsibility of the leader is to actually make them feel safe, make them feel protected, make them feel valued, and productivity will be a byproduct. They will
Yeah.
definitely, if when people are happy, when they are valued, when they feel respected, even according to neuroscience perspectives, they are in a much better shape to be productive.
Yeah.
They would like to contribute. They would like to work hard for the company, that they have signed up for. And it's often said people don't leave bad jobs; they leave bad bosses. Right? So, uh, and leadership also is not an easy job because you have so much pressure from the market, from making sure that the company is making profit. Now, you can't just be pleasing everybody in the company and the company going to losses. That also is not a practical.
Right.
You will not be able to maintain people who are working for you. So there is this nice agile tension between making sure that the company goes on increasing. At the same time, you're also kind of making sure that the people that are responsible for making things happen are also taken care of.
Yeah.
Right. So from leadership perspective, one of the very crucial qualities these days is becoming more crucial, and as you move upwards, is you take care of people who does things for you. If you cannot love the people who work for you,
Yeah.
they cannot love the work that they do for you.
Yeah. Wow.
Right? So that's a leader. So if the leader is not able to show that kind of empathy, showing that kind of support, that security that people are actually seeking, that space where they're being feeling heard. And it's all about if human beings are treated like as if they're like objects, then they withdraw. And
Yes.
humans are very sensitive people. They are very, very sensitive people. If they see they are being valued for what they're doing, they would like to bring out their best potential. So as leaders, if there's one thing that you could actually focus on is treat people as people. And that's empathy.
Yeah.
And not as things to, as not as means to achieve certain things, right? They are a very crucial part of your own resources, human resources, of course. And they're the one who are actually going to produce results for you. So you make sure you treat them with great concern, kindness, and most importantly, understanding, to understand the viewpoint of the person who is actually struggling to whatever they're trying to do for the company and things like that. So as a leader, I think empathy becomes then a very crucial aspect for them to align various people working for them for a constructive purpose. And that empathy is only possible when the leader is himself self-aware. When the leader is self-aware about, oh, this is how I feel and experience life. This is how I feel emotions when I'm treated in a certain manner. And that kind of self-awareness comes. He also becomes very empathetic. He becomes very sensitive in how he deals with other people.
Yes.
And when, and there's a nice quote, I think Simon Sinek wrote in his book. He said, leader is not someone who people have to follow. Leader is someone who people like to follow.
Yeah.
So it's not an obligation, but it's a choice that we do.
Yes. And you tend to follow and idealize those people like who are a good leader. And especially when it comes to empathy, you cannot fake it. It has to be felt. So if one is being empathetic, so if that one is just on the top of it and just faking, so after a point that is going to break. And bosses can be the reason for the employees to come to office and to look for a new day to work. So yeah, that is a good sign of a leader. So as we grow up the ladder, sir, so definitely success is going to be there, and we are going to reach a level, or we will be different from what we are today. So success, when it comes uh, as a word or as a statement, what would you define success as, or what can success be for you?
Success is definitely different for different people, and it can also be different based on where you are in your journey.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking about a person who's just off from college, the opportunity to have a startup is a success for them. Somebody who has done a startup for 2 years, for them, getting an investor is a successful.
Yeah.
For somebody who's already got an investment, getting a big market share becomes a success for them. Somebody who's got a big market share, for them, probably, people's response to what they're doing or how they're impacting life actually becomes a success. But in a nutshell, you define success with the quality of your own satisfaction.
Yeah.
If you're feeling, no matter where or what, wrong you are in your journey, if you're feeling satisfied with what you're doing, genuinely satisfied, like you're feeling, yes, I did my best, no matter how the results have turned out, that's success for you. That's success for you. Even if you're bringing a smile on 1% or 100%. But if you're at the end of the day trying your level best, you're given your best shot, and you're feeling at the end of the day satisfied, yes, I did my best. That experience is actually success, right? It's not just now getting money, getting fame, getting a lot of other opportunities. These are all, they will happen as a consequence of you doing the right thing. But even if those things are happening, it's not necessarily a person is feeling satisfied. So satisfaction becomes a more crucial indicator of a sustainable success, or success which is on a more deeper level than just external goals, because that doesn't get jeopardized by things and actions of the outside world.
Right.
So I would consider the bedrock is that, and then how it manifests is different for different people.
Yes.
For a mother, for somebody who's a homemaker, somebody's taking care of children, not just homemaker, somebody's taking care of children, mother, for them, seeing their children prosper and get educated and get settled, that's success.
Yeah.
Right. But another crucial thing is satisfying, and success is always going out of you. right? It's not about how much I have collected and received. It's many times deeper sense of satisfaction comes when I see how I have contributed back to the world in a significant manner, and that defines the level of success.
Yes.
That's a very thoughtful question. Thank you
Yeah.
for asking.
And it is very deeply, very insightful the way you've put it across. And yeah, satisfaction is the key. At times, as an individual, even if we fail, but if I have given my best, at least that inner satisfaction is there that I've tried. So yes,
Absolutely.
and I will be keen to do it once more to know that yes, I can do it in another way and I can achieve results. So it's very beautifully said, sir. And it made me also think again. Yeah. So, sir, now when we are following a time pattern and we have different routine, many of us procrastinate. Many of us deal with different things. Some people are the people who burn the night oil, night lamp, and some people are the early wakers. So, time management, one, how is it important in playing your goals? Second, what
Mhm.
would you prefer as a person to be, an early riser or a person who is burning the night lamp oil?
Yeah. I think different time zones work for different people differently.
Yeah,
And so some people flourish very well in the early morning hours. Some people flourish very well when they're in late. But what's important is time management is crucial because you have limited time in terms of what you want to do.
yeah,
But more important, time management is how you spend your focus and energy.
right.
Everybody has the same 24 hours. It's not time management. Actually, time is managing us already. The time is
Yeah,
acting on us in so many significant ways. We can't manage time, but we can definitely manage our energy, our focus, our priorities, our investment of how our utilization of that particular time. So I would say time management is crucial. It's about balance and it's about mapping your energy with the activities that you're supposed to do. For example, if you have to do a highly intellectual activity and you're
mm,
doing it at a time when you're physically exhausted, it's
mm,
going to kill your time. It's
yeah,
not going to lead to a big thing. But if you have a routine activity, which you might be able to do even when you are exhausted in the day, that's like utilization of your time. Because everyone will have to identify what, like, which part of the day is highly energy, resourceful for them. For some people who are early risers, early morning could be an energy, resource for them. So map things which are difficult for you. And this is very interesting. When we talk about time management, most of the time we try to pick up things which are easy to do.
yeah,
But the knack is you actually pick up things which are difficult to do. Because once you get a confidence of doing difficult things, easier things become even more easier. But when you just do easy things, you try to escape and avoid the difficult ones. And over a period of time, you never find time to do those things. Right.
yeah,
So time management is crucial. Identifying your priorities, identifying your energy, mapping your energy with your priorities. That's what it takes to manage your time well. And I think it's more of a culture. Many times we make maps, we make timetables. Okay, this is how I'm going to spend my weekend, spend this day, spend this day. But if that whole activity is not appearing to be exciting for the brain, it
mm,
doesn't get
yeah,
involved. And anything which exhausts you, the brain tries to avoid. Very simple. Like you live in Mumbai, so if you know that evening 7 o'clock, if you have to go downtown, it's going to be exhausting. You're going to avoid that.
yeah,
Brain is definitely going to avoid that. So then you will say, "Oh, let me go on the weekend in the afternoon. I'll save some time." So
yes,
brain is in a constant. So if a brain sees, "Oh my God, this schedule, this plan seems to be so overwhelming," they're not going to get started.
mm,
So it has to be exciting. It has to be manageable. It has to be. That's how goal setting actually happens. It has to be like something tangible at the same time, something manageable.
yeah,
Like how do you eat a big dish of several ingredients, several food articles on a plate, one dish at a time.
right.
Similarly, time management is also about doing that one crucial thing and doing it consistently and not letting your energy gets wasted. Because when energy gets wasted, time gets wasted. right? Time is out of your control, basically. Energy is in your control.
Yes.
Please understand, time is something which is equal for everybody, spread out. How are you mapping your energy with that time is what is going to make a difference between if you're
Right.
productive or not.
Yes. So the thing that you mentioned about energy, I also had come across one survey. So they had employees with them where every employee was asked to perform a particular task throughout the 5 days in a week. So they identified that one day in these 5 days, the employee is very productive. So everyone had a different day to choose, as in some were productive on Monday, some were productive on a Wednesday. So they say that you have to identify your productive day and do the
Right,
maximum of the work that day because that is the day you're very efficient.
right,
Yeah, so this
absolutely.
is so then even I started implementing that in my particular work. Yeah, it helps.
Yeah, that's like you are becoming aware of how does your system organizes energy in your
Yes,
brain and your body, and then you
yes,
map that with the activities that you do, you get the best of the results.
yes. So this is
Absolutely.
a interesting one. So
Yeah.
again, sir, now we have internal forces that are that we deal with. That is the energy. We have the time management that we come across with. Now there are some things that we cannot control. We have bosses who, who with a different mood swing. We have tough colleagues. So when you have people around the around like these, how would you deal with situations or how would you deal with people who are tough to you, who are not good to you, and a boss who is always rude to you?
Hmm. If you are driving a bicycle on the road and in front of you, you see a JCB machine coming on the road,
Yeah,
what do you do?
I would avoid that and go ahead.
Absolutely, right? You just get down. You don't expect the JCB machine to maneuver things. It will not. So sometimes you will come across people who are too strong, either in their position, right, or in their disposition.
Mhm.
Position is like they're heavy, they're like big, and you're like too small in front of them. Disposition means no matter how hard you try, you're going to exhaust yourself trying to convince them. So in such scenarios, you basically figure out how do you deal with that situation without exhausting yourself. There is no point thinking that I can change this person. You won't
Mhm.
be able to.
Right.
This expectation that this person should behave the way I want him to behave or her to behave is what exhausts people more than the behavior.
Yeah.
More than the behavior, this expectation actually exhausts them. And then we carry the interaction, and this is very subtle, but we carry that interaction even after the interaction is over within our own minds. And we keep replaying it. We keep replaying it. We just can't take that as an incident. Oh, this is how this person is. This is how it's going to. He's going to shout and he's going to give me a lot of reports of work, and that thing goes on in the head for most people, and that's what exhausts people while dealing with toxic people. Now, I'm not talking about people are doing physical abuse or intentional emotional abuse or mental abuse. If that is happening, one has to report, and there are systems within the workplace as well as social surroundings to report such systems. But if it is like a normal dealing, if it is like a if that person is that way with everybody around,
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
Mhm.
This road is bumpy for everybody. This road has potholes for everyone. You decide how do you want to maneuver your way and how do you want to drive your car or scooter or whatever it is on that bumpy road, on that road with holes, right? If you stop there trying to repair the repair the road, you will not be able to do what other things you were actually meant to. And you
Right.
may not be able to repair the road because that's not your forte, right? So some situation, now these are workplace environment situations. What if you get somebody who's toxic in your personal life?
Mhm.
Somebody you have to live with for the rest of your life. So then that becomes a more difficult proposition. And sometimes people change over a period of time.
Yeah.
Sometimes people's behavior is also because of what they are going through. So
Yes.
it requires some effort on ours. See, when we perceive people, we try to gauge them and judge them intuitively based on what my experiences had been in the past. And that doesn't take much energy for me to label somebody. Oh, this person must be like this. Oh, this person is from this place. I have experienced of people from this place. This person must be like this, da 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 da. And we label them. But the reflective way of looking at people, oh, everyone is unique, everyone has unique set of challenges, situations, backgrounds. Why is this person saying this? What is the feeling behind what he's saying, what he's saying? This
Yeah.
person is shouting, but is he angry at me or is he fearful? Boss is shouting at me. Is this boss angry at me or is he under pressure from the people on top of him, because
Yes.
of which he's doing what he's doing? And if I'm in a similar situation with similar sets of pressure, how different will I be able to handle it? And this is very, people find it difficult to accept it. But sometimes we behave in a manner which attracts a kind of behavior from the other person which we hate.
Oh,
I'll repeat
it
this.
took a while to understand, but yeah. Yeah.
We behave in a manner which elicits a certain kind of behavior from the other
Yes.
person, which
Yes.
we actually hate. We don't want that. But
Yes.
our behavior is what is the reason for that behavior that is coming on us. So
Yes.
sometimes we don't take that factor into picture, that is it something, if that kind of behavior is happening only with one individual in a company or in a work environment, then the question that need to be asked is first is, am I the cause of the problem?
Mm-hmm.
Is there something I am doing which is instigating this person to behave in this manner? Because he's not behaving like this, everybody else. Before assuming that this person is after me and against me, and make your situation helpless. Like if someone is against you, what can you do? You feel very helpless, you feel very vulnerable. But if you reflect on, oh, is there something that I could do to change the situation? You feel empowered.
Yeah.
You feel, you kind of take a sense of responsibility. And now even after you do everything and you see that this, see if somebody is having a certain behavioral trait, they will show it with different people,
Yeah.
not just with you.
Yeah.
And if it is only with you, then the first question to ask is there something that I'm doing or not doing because of which this kind of behavior I'm attracting? And then
Yes.
working on those things is what actually helps you move out or at least make peace with the situation.
Yeah.
Right?
Very true.
Human beings have tamed lions. So what to speak of dealing with another human being? It's just a matter of what kind of empathy you bring in that space. And sometimes confronting partners became bestest of colleagues
I was
once
actually
they
about to come.
understand each other.
Yes. Yes.
Because they realize, oh my God, someone at least is making an effort to understand what I'm going through.
Right.
And the most trusting, colleagues, trusting partners, trusting boss and a subordinate kind of relationship that happens when we
Yes.
practice it.
Yes. So actually, two basic things are, one is don't have or don't hold any assumption in your mind before you talk to the person, because once you have any assumption in your mind, you're going to talk with based on that assumption to the person.
Right.
So half of the problem is created there. And second thing is, if you feel something is going wrong, go out and talk. At least two things will be clear. At least he is thinking or he is not thinking. Your overthinking part is at least resolved.
It's taken care, yeah. Express yourself without disrespecting anyone.
Yes.
Express yourself without disrespecting anyone. Express about your feelings, what exactly you're going through. And that helps people a lot. That also makes people open up.
Yes. Yes.
Like I dealt a case where somebody was dealing with a very tough boss, and I said, just go and ask him that, sir, I understand you are under a lot of pressure. And he said that this boy actually went into his boss and said, sir, I understand you must be dealing with a lot of pressure. What can I do to help you? And just the total, for next 3 hours, the boss actually just explained what he was going through, what challenges they were going through. And their relationship was totally like on a different level after.
Yes.
He could
The trust
trust him,
is
he
built.
could bank him, and it actually went in a different direction.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. Actually, at times voicing out helps.
Yeah. And treating your boss also as a person,
Yeah.
not as someone who is after your life. He has nothing to do. He has nothing to gain by being after your life. He also has a life to live, but there are challenges with them also. So when we see them as a person, like this is like a bedrock thing for me, honestly, in any kind of situation. When you begin to see other person as a person, that's where you start becoming solution focused.
Very
That's
true.
where you also drop the emotional charge that you might be carrying.